This is my 7,000 point Death Guard army. And since my last update 7 months ago, I've added a full army of 2,000 points to the roster here. I have this section of the table here is all painted new. 3 blow drones I've added recently. Then I have 2 typhuses here, this little brother and the big one. The new one is here. And these 3 are not included in the 2,000 points, the 3 Plague Burst Crawler. But from here on, everything is new. And I've my new painting style is a little bit more on a higher contrast, but it still fits into the theme of the army. I've added 60 Plague Marines recently with all manner of weaponry, banners, heavy weapons, heavy plague weapons, all of that stuff, special weapons, blade launchers, all of that. A lot of contagion has been added. And I've painted a Taliman recently, and he has a book, and he's basically a stand-in for a Dark Apostle, so he needed 2 attendants. But honestly, attendants in a Plague Marine army need to be Nurglings, right? The more reliable kind of Nurgling that doesn't puke all over your books, you know. One has had the Plague Sensor, and one is basically, it's technically 2 riding piggyback, and there is a book stand on top of those. What else have I added? I have added 2 Biologous Putrifiers. I've added a lot of Virulence, a lot of Poxes, and a bunch more characters like a Malignant Plaguecaster. All of that stuff. This is the newest stuff. I have an old video about my 5,000 points. That's almost 7 months ago now. But the points also have changed 2 times or 3 times recently. So all in all together, I think it's a little bit more than 7,000 points. I have not calculated it because I've only calculated the new stuff. Apologies for that. Here's the thing. I couldn't help myself. And I calculated the points exactly. And I came out at 7,740 points of Death Guard. I mean, including 2 typhuses, so you can take 1 typhus off there if you want or not. However, I also have the points cost of the Vindicator. Then I have a Mauler Fiend and a Forge Fiend. And technically speaking, Sorcerer and Terminator armor that you can't use in Death Guard anymore as well. So this guy, add him to that. And that's 575 points at the current rate. So it's actually more than 8,000 points. But I will call the video 7,000 points anyway, because I talk about 7,000 points in the beginning. So it's 8,000. There you go. Points changes might change that in the future as well. Who knows? And this is the older stuff that has been in a bunch of battles already. Defiler here. Then I have 2 Demon Princes. I need to upgrade the Demon Princes with a new one. I need the new sculpt, and I want to do some conversions with that one in the future maybe. But I have some stuff that can't be used anymore in the army. For example, the 2 Mauler Fiend, Forge Fiend here. The Vindicator here can't be used in the army anymore because they took him away. And I don't have Possessed, but I've built Possessed recently. Possessed can't be used anymore. That's one of the newest things that they took away from us. Cruel world. Maybe Death Guard gets some Possessed in the future again, but I don't think so. I don't see it. It's just too niche. And what else do we have? Honestly, I have to say, the number of Poxwalkers I have now, I think I have like 40 of them, is pathetic. I have like over 100 Plague Marines here on the table, and I only have 40 Poxwalkers. Does that really make the feeling of a zombie horde to you? I'm ashamed of myself. I need to add like 100 Poxwalkers in the future soon. That gives me, like, that stresses me out, to be honest. I would just, on the next one I'm doing, I want to have like a big wall of zombies in front of it. I have Chaos Spawn here. They are on smaller bases because can't be bothered to put them on new bases. And the new unit size is 2. So I really hate that because I have like 14 of them. So that's like 7 units in the new rules. In the old rules, I think you could take 6 or 8 or whatever. Just more. And I really liked them. They were like cheap chaff. But in the new edition, I'm currently like normally running 2 or not a single one of them. And then plans for the future as well. more Terminators. Look at all those normal Plague Marines. I mean, normal. Air quotes normal. But I only have like 15 Blightlord Terminators and 3 Death Shrouds, so that's a pathetic number. Tell me whatever. I don't know. Tell me in the comments if you think that's pathetic. I think it is. And fortunately, I've added the 3 blow drones, so I have 3 with the flamers here and 3 with the heavy blight launchers here, but no lawnmowers. What have I done with my life? Because I don't have any lawnmower, guys. That stresses me out as well. And here are just 3 rhinos. They are just battle ready, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel like painting them to full standard yet, but maybe I do that soon. You can check it out on the Vindicator here. This is what the models are supposed to look like in the end, and this is what they look like now. I like the higher contrast on these, so I might go a little bit easier on the washes in the future, but they are just not on the standard I want them to be in, but I can do that in the future. Yeah, what else do we have? Chaos Defiler, I've talked about this one as well, and then the crown jewel, Mortarion. I love this model. I might paint another one in the future because I love it so much. I have 3 other Demon Primarchs I have to do in the future as well, but 2 Mortarions, it's a little bit much, isn't it? So I've played Death Guard for a long time, but I didn't have as many new Plague Marine sculpts because I have like 40 to 50 of the old sculpts here, and they have been really busy in battles for years now, over a decade now, and I've only had 5 of the new sculpts painted up. So recently I painted a bunch of them battle ready, and I said I just need to finish them up. And that was the perfect opportunity to change up my painting scheme a little bit, because I thought my painting scheme was a little bit too dull. Some of the contrast was just washed out too much. So I went for more like rust to silver ratio. It was like a steeper gradient. So more silver on the armor and not wash it down at all in the end. So just the highest amount of silver, and then put some rust next to it that it looks like it has been corroded or whatever. And that really worked well. And I have to say, verdigris on the copper rust is just so good. It's that excuse to put some nice colors, nice like colorful stuff on your Death Guard models. Is just so cool, and I love it so much. Like the verdigris and the rust. Mwah, chef's kiss. My favorite thing about painting them. It takes a long time though, so you have to be patient in the end, and I have to the Riser Rust. I used the Games Workshop Riser Rust because I've found that when you just put a single layer of it, it's just almost like a dark brown. And I don't know how they've done that, but if you add multiple layers over it, it just goes to a higher orangey tone. And with other stuff, if I would just use a normal orange paint, the first layer would just be an opaque, bright orange and not brown. And the Riser Rust just works because it just does a brown. And then if you layer it on top of it in a smaller section, it just goes into that crispy orange. And I like that a lot about it. So otherwise you would have to use multiple paints. And that is a hassle, and the consistency, and you know the drill. I'm rambling. Side tangent. Okay. And something else I've done to add to the contrast or make the miniatures pop more is add some models that have a lot of mood green and then neon yellow on top on those plague clouds or the dripping whatever it is. You don't really want to know that toxic waste, like in Fallout, those toxic barrels. You know what I mean? I just love that, and maybe I do some toxic barrel stuff in the future as well, because I just like that aesthetic of that radiating nuclear waste so much. And something else I really loved that I added recently is the new Typhus model, but I had to do the Codex version that has the scythe and it's just standing on a pile of dead Ultramarines, and I love that aesthetic so much. Usually I don't like corpses on my bases that have a painting scheme of another army, because that distracts visually from your army. And it's a little bit weird when you're fighting like Dark Elder or something, and there's that Ultramarine, you're surfing on it into battle. But for Typhus, I made an excuse and I said, you know what? The Codex cover is so good, I just need to do that on this guy. And I really like how it turned out in the end. And if you want to, this is his little brother here, Tiny Typhus. And if you just put the models next to each other on the same height, the new Typhus is so much bigger. But they have the same pose. So it's just a classic pose. And that Fly Swarm, oh, I love it. I had to paint so many eyes. You would not believe how many eyes that Fly Swarm has. It's insane. But yeah, this was my update for the army. I don't know. I will add some more points. As my friend Mike said, I will paraphrase him here. He has 10,000 points of salamanders, and he said he's not collecting an army here. He's building a legion, and I am aspiring to this as well. I want to have 10,000 points very soon. This was a little bit of a rambly one, but I hope you excuse that. See you next time. And if you want to watch another video of mine, click on that video that the algorithm god, Gorg, possibly Morg, the Blood Gods, Lanesh, or Nurgle himself has picked for you. And see you next time. Bye.